record and to the cloud. All right. Can everybody hear me? Yep, we can. Perfect. It's just you sound awful muffled, that's all. Muffled. It's not clear to me.
Sounds like you're talking in a can or something.
Like you got a mask on.
A lot of bass.
CJ is Cameron Thompson
Okay.
and Richard Kitchen. Okay, I got everybody. Go ahead.
So you've got everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Welcome, everybody. We're here for a first budget meeting of 2021. Call a meeting to order at 7:31, I think it is, 7:32. And introduction of all those present. I think we can all see each other and we all know who everybody is. And 7:35, start to discuss the budget. So who's that? Hello? Okay, I thought I heard somebody say something. That's fine. We have in front of us last year's budget, and we usually work on going over every line item to see what we have for increases, decreases, and or expenses. So that's what we will be doing here. Mike Bayra is in front of me. Denise is on the other computer, and Rick and Jerry are behind me like we usually do. So we will start with the first page.
Do you want to skip over and go to the road so that Mike doesn't have to?
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. We're all set.
All right. First item up is the select board salary, obviously, and all right. We want to do anything?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
so we're gonna skip over that. That's okay. That's set at 5,000. Administrative assistant is 0. Select board secretary, that's a yearly stipend, 1,200. Are you fine with that?
Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Barry, you're very, very muffled. I didn't understand that. Yes.
The chair gets 2,000 and the other two get 1,500 for a year.
Town clerk and treasurer. What we usually do is a COL, cost of living increase on that. And I don't know what that was this year, 2%? Anybody know?
I don't think we voted anything in.
You usually do me and the road.
Usually do about 2%.
Okay, so we'll, when we get the budget items and we do the other guys, we will adjust that one accordingly. Assistant town clerk and treasurer, that's Avis, correct?
Right.
Okay, zoning and planning. We budgeted 35 and we actually spent 27, so that line item's okay. Health officer, and that's Stephen Ann Edgerly.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, any questions on town government compensation? All right.
Nope.
Moving on to benefits. That all is a reflection of what's above health insurance.
I'm gonna change that, because the FICA and the Medi, Jerry brought it to my attention that we spent more than we budgeted. That's just not the town clerk's FICA in there. That's Charlie Buck, that's the listers, that's the dog catcher, all goes in that one. So I'm gonna raise those to equal all of those salaries. I
Okay.
messed up last.
Okay,
So I'll change that for the next budget.
So that's the actual, it'll go up to the actual or?
I'll actually do I'll take all of their wages and add it together and then see what it comes up with.
and the other one, Medicare, that's
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Those are correct or the same?
No, I'm gonna have to change both of those.
Okay. We'll line by them. Any other questions on benefits? Hearing none.
Nope.
Moving on for town meeting and elections. We budgeted 500, spent 930. This year we're budgeting 1,000.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know about that, you know, with the town meeting, how it goes. We're gonna have to have extra people here for the COVID stuff, even though we've just got one election. If you go Australia, you can take a chance on having to do revote. That's why I upped that, but it's totally up to you
Some
guys.
towns are putting ballots in the mail again, like they did for the general election.
Yeah,
And so that's gonna be an expense for
yeah,
postage.
I know, I think you said.
This is
something
just a
about
ballot
we could be
people.
reimbursed,
yeah, we can
but
be
we
reimbursed.
don't know for sure if we're gonna be reimbursed.
No,
So should we put more in there?
no, because that's just for ballot clerks.
Okay.
That's just the people working the poll.
Okay.
The waste district has talked about sending out ballots to their 35,000
Wow.
members.
Gee,
It's gonna be $44,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So.
Yeah.
So town reports, does that include ballots? Or
No.
not? That's just the reports.
Right.
Okay, and we print out. Elections,
Now, the elections, I put in 2,500, but I honestly think it's gonna be more than that if you guys vote to go Australian ballot,
Mhm.
which I'm assuming. That 2,500, it's gonna cost 1,500 to 2,000 to program our machine for
Oh,
the
geez.
election, not in the ballot. The price I got was 48 cents roughly per ballot. We are gonna get reimbursed. The state has $2 million.
Yeah.
They had 1.5 and we all were at a meeting on Monday and it's now at Monday, now they have 2 million. So we will eventually get reimbursed for that. I
But
don't
I
know,
think we need to cover it.
right?
Yeah,
So would 5 grand cover it?
I think I would put that, yeah.
so we're gonna move that to 5,000?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, if we get the money back, it can go back in next year.
Yeah.
all
That
right,
way it's the unknown.
Exactly.
we all set on that for,
Yeah, the listers are happy with what they have.
okay. So there's no changes in their
No,
computer mileage?
no,
and-
they're happy with their whole budget.
Okay. Moving on, we're down to operating expenses. Office supplies, postage, telephone, copier expense, all staying right within budget.
Postage, you put 1,500, you spent actually 1,576, and that stuff just went up this month.
Yeah, I mean, the state, it's got, we do have some prepaid envelopes for the ballots,
But
but
still, you know,
yeah, and postage did go up and recording is out of this world. You know, for
$2
having
grand?
some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would it be enough?
yeah, I think so.
I mean, if we don't cover it, then we don't have the money.
Yeah, and postage did go up right off.
Okay.
Just barely,
Let's go to 2,000.
okay.
We all in agreement on that?
yeah,
Yeah, the
Okay.
telephone went down. We switched to Comcast, so it's like half price, so that's a good thing.
Your computer is gonna be good.
Yeah, we just updated the memory, got a new printer.
Advertising your actual was higher than what you're asking for.
Well, didn't we, that, when we advertised for, road workers?
Some of that comes out of Mike's budget,
Okay, selling equipment,
yeah.
that 2,300 was all on this office or?
Well, yeah, you know, when we post the warning in the paper, when we post the listers, you know, the.
I think that ought to be
grand listers,
2,500 at least.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
we've got a lot of
And we still
advertising,
could be hurting.
yeah.
Are we leaving it at 2 or are we upping
Upping at
Upping it.
2,500,
it? All right,
2,2,500.
225.
Yeah, not upping at 25.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Just clearing that up.
Yeah.
all right, tax map maintenance,
Mhm.
our new guy that He's all set at that same figure?
Yeah.
All right. Website, we actually spent 38.
Yeah, that's because we implemented it.
Yep,
But this year, it's just a yearly,
just the
Gee.
maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll go down now.
they're really good too. They're really supportive.
good. Dog license or dog expenses? We all in agreement on that, 3,000 for that?
No, we actually spent 1,800. I just threw in 3,000 because you never know how many calls he's gonna get, and he gets $25 a call.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
he does a good job.
He
You
does
had
a
53 last year and you spent 18, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does a
that
great
sounds good.
job.
Liability insurance, that went down.
Yeah, that went down. They decreased our liability insurance. Yeah.
Now, we had usually budget what our bill is, correct?
Mhm,
So 38.6 is what we had budgeted.
mhm.
So it's dropping to 37.16.
Well, that's our actual bill. Of course, when they true up, when they come in the spring and do the workman's comp audit and the liability audit, that might go up if your payroll's up. So I
Well,
don't
your
know.
actual was 40,000,
Yeah.
555.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a new truck line. We got some new equipment. The fire department got some new stuff.
So should that be higher?
Yeah, because you don't know. I know like we're gonna have a new load side mower that's gonna come on this year that's not on yet.
Oh, how much you think?
I'd say 38 would be,
Well, you spent 40 last year.
yeah, but our original premium went down like $1,500.
Okay.
So we'll raise that to 38.
Mhm.
Okay, public official insurance, we don't have anything for that. Grant expense. Wow. You guys are after some grants this year?
Mhm. We are.
Okay. We actually spent 1,600, we're moving that one to 5,000.
Because there are some grants out there that we're gonna apply
Okay.
for.
Legal and CPA expenses, that's at 10,000. We spent $9,091 on lawyer fees last year.
And the audit,
And what?
CPA.
Oh,
The
yeah,
audit.
and the audit?
Yeah.
Okay. Bank service charges, nothing. ATV expense, moving it to 250. Is that like the stickers?
Yeah, that's 100% sticker.
Okay, and the what's his name? Can't ever think of it. Chris Donovan has gotten with me, and we want to start that process of working through the all of the issues that came
Yeah,
up last year.
That's gonna
so,
be at the February 4th meeting. A guy already, remember, we're already gonna have a
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to be here.
okay. Other
Oh,
expenses,
wait a minute.
35. We'd spent 33, so that's fine. Any other questions on operating expenses?
Nope.
All right. Sanitation, recycling, 12,000. We actually spent, 10.5. So
Yeah.
there may be some increases due to the income from the waste district. Not tipping fees, but pickup fees for schools. And it went up a little bit, and for the towns went up a little bit. So that's fine. Charlie's happy with his salary. I haven't heard anything, so. All right, moving on to recreation and parks. We don't put anything in there. I did have a letter that I brought in. I gave it to Mike, a vacant crisis,
On what?
from AGOG.
Uh-huh.
City of Newport is actually funding $25,000 into milfoil eradication at their dock in the city
Mhm.
around there. So we have a boat launch here in Strawberry Acres, which I understand is also being greatly affected by milfoil. And I didn't know if we wanted to put any money into for milfoil eradication around the boat launch.
Jennifer Hopkins has called here relative to that. She wanted to be at the January meeting, but she called too late to be put on the agenda. So she was gonna talk to her people and see if they wanted to come in February. She's not sure yet, but
Who dispenses the chemical to get rid of that?
Well, the ANR, Agency of Natural Resources, will not allow any chemicals.
Okay,
So New Hampshire is using chemicals right now. And they approve it over there, but we don't.
right.
The state of Vermont has authorized mats to be put down for a sun barrier. So this milfoil will not grow without sunshine. But the mats have to be picked up.
Yeah.
Every year and then put back down.
So-
So,
Yeah, I'm asking, who does that? That's,
well, nobody at this
I
time.
was gonna say, we'd have to hire somebody to do that.
The city of Newport is budgeting money for the mats. I know that the marina, which is in between going to stuff, they're
Right.
put money in their budget for some mats. I have no idea. So I just wanted to bring up that we have a lot to lose based on the tax revenue that comes in on the lake property.
Mhm.
And if the lake gets so bad, it starts affecting resale values and the tax price has to go down. So, I don't know, but do we wanna put a little something in there or nothing? Or wait,
Any idea what the mats cost?
I have no idea.
Okay. I mean, if we put in
It's probably a rental
$3,000.
thing that the company puts down and they keep using them, probably.
It's
So
a
you
rental.
just put- I would guess.
You think it's a company that comes in and puts?
Yeah, I
them
don't
in?
think we buy them. I think it's some company that comes in and does it. I don't know, whatever that. But then this lady May that's coming in February may be able to tell us.
That's true. So,
Well, by then the budget will be done.
Right.
yeah.
It's Tom Latta, he is down here on,
Yep.
well, just up the road from, CJ there.
Yeah.
That, he's the president of, the Newport Marina Condominium Association. And his cousin manufactures the mats
Okay,
and his cousin has said, I mean, they're a big worldwide operation, that he would donate the mats.
oh,
So that's just a conversation between
so it's just a matter of somebody.
Tom and I.
Yeah, yeah,
So, because I was asking how much the mats cost,
okay,
and he said he has an outlet to get the mats for free. So it would be the installation of them, I think.
Sure.
And it would be something to participate, if they got some guy up here to do something, that we could get some assistance with whatever we could. So, if we put any.
Shouldn't we put something in there?
I was gonna say, do you think $1,000 would cover
No.
a days in, days out?
No, I doubt it. It'd
You don't
have to
think
be
so?
at least 5 or forget it.
Oh, really? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, I have no idea.
But,
I would guess at least 5,000 or forget it,
okay. And if
would
we,
be my guess.
and if then nothing materializes, then that money won't get spent.
Right,
Just move
right.
back.
And
But I'd
maybe-
like to know more information on it for those other.
Yeah, I would do.
Did you pass around the,
I didn't.
this is state or whatever it is, that came from a.
It's from the state. I don't even want to read it because I
Oh,
don't believe
well.
anything the state or government has to say now. I
Memphis
don't believe
Magog-
anything the news has to say now.
Memphis Magog Watershed Association, the one that's getting involved, but I don't think the lake has been identified officially, it just qualifies.
Right.
They can proceed.
I think it's 7 worst words you can hear. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. That's
Yeah.
the scariest sentence I ever heard.
Well, it's up to you guys.
I'm not against putting 5,000 in and just say if it doesn't materialize, it's there.
Okay,
I agree.
all right, so
Gotta do something.
under recreation and parks, then we will,
I'm gonna change the line item that says City of Newport Centennial.
yes,
I'm gonna just put that as Strawberry Acres Fishing Access.
Yep.
And then put 5,000.
Or lake restoration,
Okay, or, yeah, whatever.
Strawberry Acres Lake restoration.
okay.
What do you think?
Anything that would identify what that discussion is for, and so that people, when they vote the budget, will understand.
Yeah.
You know what it's for.
That's why I'd like more info, so if people ask, at least somebody could explain it or have something written down.
Strawberry Acres / milfoil. How's that?
Yeah.
All right, anything else under recreation and parks? The library is listed there.
That's just always been there. We put it under appropriation.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Can we just take it out of there then?
I can try, yeah.
Moving on to cemeteries.
Yeah, they're happy with the budget as it sits. They did not spend all of their expenses, this year. With COVID, it was hard to coordinate everybody going in.
It's on the Route 100.
That's in, well, in Route 100 and Wright Cemetery. They did clean a bunch of stones again this year, repair some stones, but they've still got a lot of work to do.
Okay. And we're happy with those figures.
Yeah, the cemetery commissioner.
Okay.
Does that money include the mowing?
Yeah, up
Yeah.
to the top it does, 8,000. Yeah. Not the 20, no.
Anything else under cemeteries? Okay. Moving on to other town expenses. VLCT dues, that's the Vermont League of Cities and Towns, 4,500. County,
They've been great this year too with this COVID stuff. We had a big, huge meeting again yesterday. I'll talk about that under town meeting.
okay. County tax, that's where they tax us on a per capita to support the jail, the court system. 28,000. Street and bridge lights, 1,700. Emergency department, nothing. Fire, nothing. Solar panel expense, nothing. And Pugany Hill land expense, nothing. Those all stayed the same.
Yep.
So are we happy with that, guys?
You got 3 more on the next page.
Oh.
No,
No, you
okay,
don't.
yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. Now we come down to the town clerk's office, electricity and heat. Up at 2,000. We spent 20, that's just electric here in this building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got extra money then next year, let's put an air conditioner in, so we have a meeting.
Well, we've got that thing that we wanted to talk about
Right,
for installing those units,
Right, heat pump.
the heat pumps
Yeah.
and cooling pumps.
Yeah.
So,
right. And we have, Rick had gotten a proposal from Meadows on that.
yep,
This is 2, 1 on each end of the building?
he wanted 3, I think.
Oh,
I think there was an option there.
No, that's the 2 proposals right there. You guys had seen those earlier, but we were gonna put it off till budget time.
Of course, that's the initial expense.
Right.
To get it in here.
There was 3 on it. And then 1 for 2. One for $9,000 and the other one for 12,000.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, but that's from Meadows, right?
Right.
And is there other companies that do it?
Probably,
Kevin Kincaid put in my brother-in-law, he was there.
I didn't realize the only one that came to do anything was Meadows.
I don't know, but I know, I'm positive it was him that did Bob Hillis.
you were going through efficiency one,
Yes,
and Meadows was the contract.
yes, that's why. I went with Meadows, because they were the ones that were here. There was a couple others throughout the state, but I just wanted to stay local.
Do you remember what any contributions to efficiency one?
They didn't want to put much in.
Oh,
$200 was the top.
that's nice.
Yeah, they didn't want to do much at all. No, they
Okay.
didn't have any money in their budget either. You know,
Can you guys give the prices again for the estimates? Because Steve was kind of turned the other way. You couldn't hear what the prices were for the estimates for the install.
I'm sorry. Netto's for 3 wall-mounted heat pump units was $12,255, and for 2 units, same building, was $8,995. And Efficiency Vermont rebate was $300.
okay, I'm sorry, $300.
Says right on the.
Yep.
Okay.
only spent 1,284 for heat and electricity.
I know.
I know, it's kinda hard to do that.
Kinda hard to put them in at that amount of money. It takes a long time to get it back at that rate.
Okay,
I think we answered that question.
Oh, I agree.
Until we
I-
find something cheaper.
well, electricity is pretty cheap in this building.
Yeah,
Keep
Yeah.
the whole thing for $1,200 a year.
well, yeah, $1,300 in the heat and the electricity for the year.
Well, that might go up if we come down and put an air conditioner in.
Exactly, but it might go to 15.
We don't need an air conditioner.
We do some days.
How is the building heated currently?
It's all electric.
All electric. Holy jeez. Okay.
The lights are electric and the heat's electric and the yearly expense was $1,284.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's a little hard to justify spending $12,000.
Absolutely.
Okay. So moving on town clerk's office, next page, cleaning. You're not having anybody come in to do it, you do it yourself?
I'm the cleaning lady.
Oh. You wanna have somebody come in once
No.
a year
No,
and
no,
get you caught back up?
I do that myself. I do spring and fall cleaning. No,
Repairs and maintenance, you're up to 5,000 on that. And groundskeeper, 4,300. Oh, that's for mowing all the lawns? Okay, good. Are we happy with his?
I think you did a hang of a job.
Yeah.
what do you think?
All right, good.
The bush hog
Cleans
up on
up
the hill and
good.
stuff.
Cause
Yeah,
when we put that out to bid, that was a
We do.
considerable saving.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll put it out to bid again.
Yep.
Right.
If you guys want, we always just put it in the paper every year.
Do you think we should,
The grounds here are for here and down at the recycle, isn't it?
Well, no, it's all of them.
All of
The
them.
town,
Oh, it's all of
Across
them.
from my
Oh,
place.
oh, okay.
the
Water.
ball field,
For the
yeah.
water.
I thought those were additional.
I think
No.
we ought to raise it.
Oh, last year, what he did was less than 3, weren't it?
Well, that's $4,005. That was your spring and fall cleanup and everything. That's it, that's just his cost right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought it was your flowers and stuff too.
I don't have any flowers, that's right.
Or,
Well, we could raise it to 4,500. I mean,
No,
that's
that
an
goes in
extra
repair.
$200 if he goes up in his
Yeah.
price a little bit.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yep.
I don't wanna be constrained.
Jerry, I put the bark and stuff in the repairs and maintenance, so that's kinda,
40, 45?
Yep. So we're gonna raise up, the groundskeeper from 4,300 to 4,500.
Well, we let you get the raise.
but you went on.
And then debt service, there's nothing on that. And then other articles, they will all be so voted on Australian ballot or something.
well, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many items are there, do you?
I don't know, I haven't even gotten that far yet in the, but in the budget for us, the private school busing has to be included, and last year we budgeted 4, we spent 2,100. I put $4,000 in there this year, you never know how many kids are gonna go to school next fall.
Yeah.
And then we have the cemetery flag for $300.
Mm-hmm. There's 29 other articles that could get voted at town meeting.
Yeah, a lot of those are moved.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question about how that works with the transportation of private schools?
Yeah,
I'm just wondering how that works. Like, if somebody chooses to go to a private school, taxpayers pay for them to be transported to the school?
taxpayers pay to transport all kids to all public schools too.
But if you choose to go private, it's still paid by taxpayer money for transportation. If you make that choice,
You have to provide
We're mandated by the state to provide transportation.
enrollment in,
so the state mandates that that taxpayer money pays for transportation if somebody chooses to go to a private school.
No,
no. Your
Mandated.
transportation to a public school is separate from the school budget. I mean, it's in the school budget, but it is separate out. It's towns do not have to provide transportation. They just do that, public or private. Many years ago, we put in an article, and it's still in there today, that if someone decides that they want to do private education, we will pay to a certified by the state of Vermont private school, we will pay $300 per child. That's a stipend that goes to the parents to be able to take their children to and from, such as,
Okay.
and the way the town has always looked at it is, if we're paying for transportation to our public school, why wouldn't we pay transportation to what the parents want in education of their children?
Okay. Thanks. I just wanted some clarity on that.
Yep, that's how it all came about. And I know there's a faction out there that has tried to get rid of that, but the way to get rid of it is to take the students that are going to private schools, and I don't know for whatever reason they're going to private schools, but get them back into our public school, and then that number would go away.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be, I'm not completely against that, but I would say, if you were playing the devil's advocate, I would say, well, the town itself offers a school, and if a person chooses to not have their child attend that school, then they should kind of take on the obligation of paying to transport their child to that public school, to the private school. But I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it as well, is that if you pay for kids to go to the public school, you should pay transportation to go to the private. But the other half of people would say that, well, if you're choosing to not go to the school that we provide as a town, so therefore you're opting out of the transportation to that public school, and you have to take on the expense. But that's okay. I just want a little clarity on it. That's all. But you guys explained it well. So.
The way we look at it is that we don't want to, and the word is disenfranchise people,
Yes, yeah.
so that we treat them all the same. Children are children, and we give them all that opportunity. Okay. So, that takes us to the article. We're now down to,
Cemetery flag was more than budgeted.
Yeah, they had to buy a whole host of new ones last year, because a lot of them, were ratty and stuff, but that should cover us this year. So they say, I don't know. That's just what I hear from them.
all right. Moving on. Highway Department? Hi, Mike. Good. Salary budgeted of 131,000. We've actually spent 111. So, if we do a cost of living increase on that line item,
Yeah, you budgeted 170, you spent 128.
okay. So,
You should be all set.
Mike,
Yeah.
we're all set? Okay. You guys feel?
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Yeah, it's
All right.
okay to me, yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
all right. And then the highway benefits, that all reflects off from the income, or the income. So down to fuel, we had budgeted 40,000 last year. We actually spent almost 24,400. We're gonna still budget 40,000.
Never know where it's going.
You seen the price of it going up and up already?
I think it's gonna skyrocket.
I think you're
Okay.
right.
So we're all happy at keeping it at 40?
Yeah.
All right. Repairs and maintenance to the equipment. Anything stick out a line there?
The only issue I got for loader, I had to have the bucket repaired once this summer because the bottom's wearing out. I got an estimate from Danny Gay to reline the bottom of the bucket, and it was almost $6,000, and I can buy a brand new bucket for $7,700 from Cat. So I don't know if we wanna put money for that on there, or use it out of the equipment fund. Cause the 4,000 is more than enough for the maintenance of the loader,
Mm-hmm.
and,
I would think it'd come out of the equipment fund, wouldn't you?
yeah, well, that was my only question on
I think
that.
it would, yeah.
If that, I'd buy a new bucket before.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It-
Unless the
that
new
money.
buckets are garbage, I mean, which I don't think they are.
But from Cat, they should do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a quote, it was good for 30 days for 7,700.
Yeah, yeah.
Seemed like a no-brainer to me,
Yeah,
Okay?
Yeah.
Then I'd take advantage of it.
which that means I might need you guys authorizing me to buy one. I don't know if we can do that today or not. That quote was good for 30 days. I don't know if we want
so you're still working under last year's budget, right?
No,
last year's
No.
budget's done.
For January to December.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
So we're into the new
we have
budget,
money there.
but there's money in his
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I
your
make a
call.
motion that we authorize Mike to, take advantage of.
That's his
30
call anyway.
And the bucket on there is not currently completely junk. There's still life in it. It's just, I thought that was a decent price.
You don't have to trade the old one in, do you?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
okay, there's a motion on the floor that.
Seconded?
although, any discussion, further discussion? Well, we're made a motion to buy a new bucket for the loader. Mike got a quote of $7,700 for a new bucket. And to get the old one repaired was $6,000 from Gay Steel Company. So, and we're taking that money out of the equipment fund. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Aye. Opposed? No? No ayes have it, motion carries. You're authorized, Mike.
Thank you.
Anything else under your equipment?
No.
Yeah,
Well, we went up. What do you?
weren't we talking about the pickup?
Oh yeah, the pickup. Yeah. I got a number from Jim Dwarf. The bottoms of the doors, there ain't no paint on them. The passenger side rocker isn't completely junk yet, but Jim thought the proper way to fix it was to paint the bottoms of the doors and paint the other side. It was 22 and some change. I asked me to if he wanted to revise his quote. He told me the truck ain't worth 2 rockers, and he didn't want to revise. So I don't know if you want to just have 1 rocker fixed or have the doors painted, the bottom, just the bottom parts of the doors. There is no paint on them.
Okay,
It's gonna make the truck a tad more valuable
Yeah.
if we try to sell it
Yeah. Oh yeah.
after.
I think it needs to be fixed.
I just curious which way you want to go.
2,200 isn't a lot of.
What do you wanna do? They got, still got,
Either way.
I mean,
The
the
truck
white
runs good.
engine and transmission, I don't want that to go after we fix the body.
I think in the spring. we
Got
start looking
140,000 miles.
new anyway.
10 years old.
I have a question on the pickup. We just spent money on the back body, which is an aluminum body, right?
No.
No,
Oh, it's not, steel?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it was aluminum, okay. So I was gonna say, why can't we buy another pickup and put this body on it? Buy a pickup without the body in the back?
I think probably looking at something different than a pickup next month.
Never know. That'll be your decision. I can get all the estimates in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, they're expensive. You
That
can
was
buy
my
a pickup
question.
pretty cheap compared to.
You can buy a 2-ton or 2.5-ton dump almost cheaper
How
than
are
that.
you doing?
Yes,
Depends what you want for a body.
Exactly, but, I don't think we should be debating that now.
No,
Well, I do.
I'm just curious which way, because if we don't paint the bottom for the doors, it will be rusted through next year. There's no doubt about that.
That's truck number 1.
That's gone.
Oh.
The pickup is the pickup. Is that pickup,
pickup,
six
yeah,
one down?
Truck number 4.
Truck number
here.
4,
Yeah.
pickup?
pickup.
Oh, yeah. I was just looking right up to the numbers and kept
And-
saying truck.
And once again, the 2000 We spent 4 on it, so we bumped it up to 6. So I've already put batteries in it in the past week. That was $300. We put a lot of money in it last year in brakes, and you know,
I think there's money enough there anyway to get the.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
So leave it at 6.
perfect.
And then the mower, we dropped down to 1,500. Remember, we wanted to make a note of that
Yeah.
because we got a new roadside mower.
yeah, we had a lot of money to keep the other one running, and the new one shouldn't take much.
Okay.
Right.
So the repairs and maintenance budget on the equipment actually went down $2,000.
Yeah.
So,
And the grader was a little over, and we paid an expensive service from John Deere to come service it at its 1,000-hour service, which was twice. We won't have another one of them for a while. So
okay. All right. Moving, we all set on repairs and maintenance?
I think so.
Okay, moving on, contracted services. And grant expense, 4,000, we spent 2,600. That probably goes along with the other grant, labor or whatever it was in the front we talked about.
Well, we just don't know. They might, if there's grants out there might be some of our contribution, like Mike says, can be like his labor and truck time and stuff, but some of it can't be covered. We don't know how many grants we're gonna be eligible for,
Well,
right?
Sarah has applied for a couple of grants for the Buzzell Road. We have no idea. That's the Better Back Roads program. She's already submitted them. I don't know when we hear. We were supposed to get an engineering grant on the big culvert on the Ferrari Road. That was supposed to happen this past year, but everything got bumped a year. Hopefully we'll get the engineering grant for this year, which a lot of our copay typically on like the Better Back Road programs is in-kind service, our time and trucks. With the engineering grant would actually have to cost money,
Okay,
and hopefully we'll get that so we can get the construction grant for it following.
yep. Okay. Ditch work stays the same at 10,000. And bridge and maintenance contractors, 3,000, we're all set with that? Okay,
Which in the ditch work, we spent our budget and we actually got a lot done with an NVDA grant we got from NVDA. It was a 15,000 grant, and 12,000. They're supposed to cut us a check for $12,080. So
they haven't yet?
I emailed him because I asked him just this week where the hell the check was, and he said, "Oh, they cut it today." Imagine that.
The check's in the mail.
No,
on your bush hogging and mowing, contractors, do you have any out there that has brush that needs to be cut? That I don't wanna see our new mower thrashing. You can hire those on the excavator now.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's pretty good. If we do have something that's really high up, and I will, I think we'll be all right for this year. Maybe we'll look at that for next year if I find something that I think needs.
Okay,
Yeah, we will leave the big trees along with it.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen some of those things capable of eating a whole tree.
Oh,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he needs it, let's put money in to do that instead of using out.
Chop it off and then just break the
Oh, yeah.
stump.
That's right.
Honestly, a lot of our biggest issues are around people's properties with trees hanging out over the
Yeah.
road that I don't even know if we could use one of them brontosaurus heads. It'd almost be like calling in a tree cutter and having them take it down,
Yeah.
because either that, we gotta run a lift and send a guy up on a lift on a chainsaw because we can't use a loader bucket no more. So.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we're good. I'll put
Okay,
that for the future.
Well, we're gonna have an whole loader bucket we put cage on.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know how OSHA would.
Probably wouldn't go for it.
Yeah.
probably.
street sweeping contracts. We're all set there. Okay. Other contracted services.
We reduced that in half.
Yep,
I don't see the need in hiring the truck that we used to hire.
okay,
We had 3.1, and we left some in there because you never know.
Okay.
We have the truck break down.
that takes us to materials and supplies. First item, culvert pipe, $12,000.
I went up, just, we use what we have, and there's always more that can be done, and who knows where the price is.
Cold patch and paving, that's always a big one, 125,000.
That's, if you guys wanted, we're not up for state aid, to my knowledge. I talked to Eric Hope, and he's supposed to get with us in the next couple of months to tell us what the timeline is, but everybody got bumped from last year. That's,
We didn't even meet last year, did we?
I think we did it on the phone or
Yeah.
Zoom or something.
Okay.
Or maybe they didn't do that, but. So I don't know if you wanna leave that in there, or if you don't wanna pave, we could take the majority of it out.
Well, you must have some paving if you want to do.
Well, all that's really left in town is finish the crossroad, which that's been done since I've been here, so that's in the last 10 years, this half of it. And the city farm road, you guys travel them. They're not horrible.
Right.
I do have, right now we're sending the salt truck down to Jacques on the lake road, turning around, and the sand truck goes to finish it. Is 0.8 of a mile. That would be nice to have all pavement, and then one truck would go instead of two. But
I think we better leave that amount in there.
I talked to Norman, and he thinks the price of asphalt's going to be low again this year, but it's hard to say. And that 0.8, if we went 2 inches thick, 22 feet wide, in the ballpark of like 85 to 90,000. If that was something these fellows decided we should.
And I don't have a problem paving out there. I get a lot of residents on the lake, and the tax revenue that they're sending us are saying it would really be nice, Steve, if you finished the job.
I agree.
So,
So we do right to the Canadian border?
Yeah.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Mike is sanding more as opposed to
No.
putting, salting more. And if anybody travels with Power Road, you notice that the roads are in great shape. We're getting compliments, all the time on the roads. What he's doing is working.
Mhm.
It'd be nice to just have one truck go to the end of the lake road, right?
Yeah,
Am I
right now we send two.
Yeah.
And it's redundant.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. The roads have been great.
Yeah,
good.
he's doing a great job.
Yep.
So that's just food for thought. We gotta make that. You would leave the money in.
Just
we
leave the
can
money
talk
there
about
and we'll
it.
debate that later.
Yeah.
I can get it.
Good. I think you felt us out.
Yeah,
and
sounds good.
Got a plan. And gravel crushing, you had some issues with that?
Yes, they pulled out. They didn't finish, so I didn't spend nearly my budget on that last year, and they only made me 3,700 yards versus the 10,000 we hoped for. So, in order to make up that 6,300 yards, do we take the money out of the reserve highway fund that we just put there from this year, or do we put it in our budget, this budget, to make up for it, or just say that was enough for last year and do our usual 10,000?
Well, you're gonna have to have as much again, usually.
Yeah.
And then you gotta look at the next year, so it's gonna be more than that to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
oh, that's what I'm saying. Typically, we spend 42.5, and
I don't have a
Money
problem
in
keeping it
reserve
the same. Are you out of gravel? Or you-
no, there between what the little we had left over, I might have 4,500 yards down there with what they crushed and what we had left over, somewhere in that ballpark.
So,
If we do 10,000, which typically we do the 10,000 in the fall, so it's for the next summer. So
Right.
for this summer, instead of having 10,000, I've got 4,500.
when are they coming back?
Well, I'd like to put it out for bid and get a timeline on when they're gonna complete, because Kingdom Gravel did say they'd come back in the spring, but they pulled out. They moved all the equipment out. I really thought they were gonna finish this fall and winter. But,
Did they give a reason for pulling out?
the gravel in the bank they're crushing out is kind of damp, and it makes excellent gravel, and it freezes on their belt, and they
Okay.
continuously bump this later and later.
Yeah.
Because they know we already got a stockpile from the year before.
Well, you're looking at 10,000 yards per year roughly that you put on the road or have crushed, and this summer, you're looking at 15,000 to catch up plus.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So are you gonna have money enough there?
Well, that's what I was wondering, if you wanna up this line item to make up the difference, because that's gonna be a big jump, or, you know, we just put 25,000 or more from last year's budget in the reserve fund. I don't,
I would say just keep it at 45 and take that money back out of the reserve fund,
if we need to.
not double dip it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
that would make sense to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just didn't spend it.
We didn't spend it, we
Money
put it in
is right.
reserve,
Okay,
Right.
and if you get somebody that can come in and do it, money's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
6:40 November 5.
Down through purchases, material, 8,000. Salt, we're up in that to 45. You're happy with that?
I think that gives me 2 more loads at the current prices, and I'm new. I can't tell you how. I'm trying not to waste much. I met with Jason 70 yesterday morning down the Westfield garage to try to calibrate my truck, make sure I'm not wasting it, and we got a ballpark on where we're at. It's all new to me. We haven't had cold temperatures yet. Really?
Doesn't take a lot when it's like this. It
Exactly.
doesn't look like it's working very fast, but it's working.
Yeah, but
When it
as
gets a little colder, you have to
it
put a
will
little
take
more.
more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't put as much in the sand pile as we previously have. I don't know.
We've had a good year.
Okay, we'll leave them the same.
Anytime.
You're happy with them, we'll leave them the same. Chloride, that's fine. How many gallons do we store?
We have our tank in the garage 4,500, and we have 4,500 down the Calkins, that up tank that one to keep us going.
Okay,
And I believe they're both full.
They're both full.
good. And then, the last item is, FEMA grant work. Fine. You're all set on,
It's budgeting less than we spent, but
Yeah, you're not gonna have the FEMA, I feel pretty confident, and I think Mike does too, we're not gonna have the FEMA, disaster that we had last year that we spent money on. The only thing that we buy material for now would be any grant, like if we gotta get culverts for a grant, or whatever, right? That, yeah,
but
FEMA, we're not
there
gonna deal
could be
with.
a horrendous spring flood.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and if it's a minor one like the Halloween storm was to this town, we're gonna leave FEMA out of it.
that's right.
Yep, I heard that.
Because all they do is make paperwork.
Yep,
All right,
isn't that fun?
Yeah.
so I'm happy with that. Town,
And the drilling and blasting, we didn't put nothing because I need to research just where I want to do it, and make sure it's suitable for the locations I still have.
okay. And town garage. It just supplies radios, telephone, advertising, heat, electricity and heat, repairs and maintenance, debt service, road signs, uniforms, and other expenses, all pretty much relatively the same as it was last year. Good? We all set with that? Okay.
Yeah.
as long as they're happy that everything is covered.
Other expenses, moving on, we've got training, $500, and then it comes down to taxes on the gravel pit, which go to the town of Coventry, $2,500. Stripping the pit, nothing. Storage building, $1,000, that's up on by the garage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Miscellaneous expenses, 5,000, and then the highway permit. Okay, that's all I need to know.
That's that.
We haven't paid state of Vermont anything on a permit.
Yeah, we paid them $1,350 last year.
Oh,
Yeah, we have to, and they make sure that that's covered, before we get that FEMA money, that has to be
Oh,
paid.
so we gotta pay that before we get
so
that.
last I knew, they hadn't even sent us a bill on
Yeah.
it.
They did, though, you signed it last month or the month
It
before.
weren't that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's to do with all that inventory that they're.
For the people that are online and want to hear what we're talking about, the state of Vermont makes us pay $1,350 for a permit to work on our roads ourselves. And for people that want to know about the water system, the state also sends us a bill for every gallon of water that we pump out of the ground,
Anything interesting?
just to let you know.
Huh?
No, not really.
How long?
That's very great. All right. We're all set on that? Okay, moving on.
So that's it. The rest is not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got some corrections. We're gonna look into cost of living and that sort of thing. And when do we want to meet again?
No, we're not done the meeting though.
Oh, no,
Oh.
I meant to the next budget meeting,
Oh,
while we're still on budget.
Denise, and you with your schedule.
Yeah.
The only thing I have is February 2nd, I have a dentist.
yeah, and we gotta be done by that, cause the last day to post the warning's the 31st.
Just wanted to throw that out, I didn't know.
So, next week. Anytime. Anytime, we just gotta have 24 hours to warn it, so anytime.
Basically up with you, Steve, on your schedule.
Mike, are you
Your-
cool?
your
And-
schedule.
You're all set like we did last time?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call you when I get back to the garage,
Okay,
and 7:30 in the morning?
Yep.
Okay. And we'll get it
and then
done.
we'll have to have one more to finalize and sign the warranty too, but, yeah.
Yep. All right. Now, discussion for anything else under the budget, discussing the budget? Okay. Moving on to town meeting for 2021. Denise, I'll let you went to a meeting on Monday?
Yeah, I went to, well, it's all via Zoom, obviously, but yeah, we've been to numerous meetings. All of us town clerks, VLCT had a couple-hour meeting yesterday, which was very informative. There's three or four key items in legislature as we speak. Hopefully the governor, I looked at my emails this morning, I don't see that he's signed anything yet, but the consensus amongst all the town clerks in VLCT, you have a couple of choices. First choice is to leave town meeting as it is, which only a couple of towns are doing. That I don't think is a great idea because you're limited on capacity, you're limited on a ton of stuff. You can actually move your town meeting to a later date, which would mean that you would do your warning as is, dated for March 2nd. And the first item on the agenda would be to move to a time and date certain. So let's just say you want to move it to June 2nd. You know, you're taking a chance on if COVID's going to be better, if the governor's going to lift the restrictions. The downside of that is, let's suppose that you had 10 people go to that meeting. And the motion was made and seconded to move to a time and date certain, and that failed. You would have to hold town meeting with just those few people. VLCT's recommendation is that's not ideal. The takeaway I got from all the meetings that we've been to, and there's been numerous discussions this week, you know, is to Australian ballot would be the way to go. You can vote to go to Australian ballot for any and all items for this year and this year only. And then next year go back to the regular floor vote. That's what a lot of towns are choosing to do for safety. Some towns like Derby, they did half and half. They're doing all Australian ballot this year. If you do Australian ballot, the takeaway from all the meetings was the school board, select board, try to be on the same page. The school board has a meeting tonight. I do believe that if you vote, and the board can make that decision for this year only. The school board and the select board can vote to go to Australian ballot. The school board, I've got to let them know after you guys discuss it and hopefully come to a resolution today. They want to go to Australian ballot, I do believe. I can't speak 100% because I haven't voted on it yet, but I polled 4 of them and they are in agreement that for safety of everybody due to COVID, they would like to go to Australian ballot. The key to everybody getting along and being in the same sandbox is we could do one ballot, like we have one warning, so everything, the few school articles and all of our stuff could be on one ballot. You know, we could, we have to have somebody come in and program our machine. It would be one ballot, it would be run through the tabulator. VLCT, said that that would be ideal. My personal opinion is I don't see any way around doing that. The thing that we would have to do is to have an informational meeting. If you go Australian ballot, you have to have an informational meeting not more than 10 days before. So, and that has to be on the warning. So we would have to pin that down. Not that we have to do that today. And the school board chair has asked if we could have a joint school board, select board informational meeting, which I said I would bring.
And do we do that Zoom?
You have to. Well, you don't, I'm sorry, you don't have to, but yes, you would do it Zoom, just like we're doing right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the things that are discussed at the informational meeting, obviously, are just your budget.
Right.
Right.
What,
And, yeah, and then, and that being said, you guys, have to, as of right now, as of last night when we had a VLCT meeting, you guys have the choice of instructing the town clerk to mail, ballots, if you choose to go Australian ballot, to mail ballots to all registered voter on the checklist, or you can say that, you know, if people want an absentee ballot, they call the town clerk's office and request it, or they can go on their voter page and request an absentee ballot. We would get a message here and send it to them. That way there, you're not, that's what most towns are doing. Montpelier's mailing them to all the registered voters. Not many towns are doing that because of the fiasco during the primary and general election with the horrible waste.
And that's a lot of added expense.
Well, it's a lot of waste, and it's a lot of
waste.
Yeah.
right.
A
And,
lot of people are gonna get them and they just don't throw them away, they ain't gonna.
when you historically have 100 people show up, mailing out 1,200 ballots,
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
I mean, that would, chances are getting more people to vote, but it may not. And then what a waste of money
the
that
word
is.
will get out there fast enough. If they want a ballot, they'll call her.
I had a couple of questions thinking about this. Number one, does we have to pay for the printing of those ballots?
We will get reimbursed. Right now, there's $2 million to get reimbursed for this sort of thing. It was 1.5 last week. They upped it to 2 million as of our meeting Monday. They had just got, Will at Elections just got notified that it went up to 2 million.
Is that done with our printer, or is it done with the state of Vermont's printer? I mean, in other words, like.
Well, no, we have to print our own ballots.
Right.
We would have the company.
So because of that, do you have a time slot for, what's the name down there that we use for printing, to do our town reports and our ballots?
No, it depends on how you guys vote today. I would call LHS, who programs our machine, and see if we could be on their dance card that they would print our ballots.
Okay.
And
Because everybody else is gonna want all this stuff printed.
and we've got enough money to pay for our machine to be programmed. We gotta pay for that, right?
We gotta pay for it, and then we'll get reimbursed after the fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got $2 million in there.
And that $2 million is for the whole state,
Right.
right?
So there's no guarantee we're gonna get that.
That's right.
That's why I say-
That was my point. There's no guarantee we're gonna get that money back, because $2 million doesn't go too far when you're looking at how many towns.
I know, and we upped it on our meeting.
And yeah,
elections.
we did up it, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Just in case.
But I just wanna make sure that's clear.
There's 600,000 voters in the state of Vermont.
Right, but how many towns in the
Right.
state of Vermont?
Yeah.
That's, you know, there's what, 13 counties, but.
If it was 44,000 just for the waste district,
Right.
Mhm.
What's it gonna do?
I understand there's a lot of towns in 37 or 35,000 people, but still, it doesn't take long to
Well,
spend that money.
It's 35 pounds.
Right, so,
Okay, well, just as long as we're on board, that
Oh, yeah.
$2 million don't go far.
No, it doesn't.
You know, and the other thing I was thinking of is if we're paying for the printing, when we have our town report printed, could the ballot be printed in that town report? So that when, and then not
Oh, I see
mail
what
them
you're
out,
getting- I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
but not mail them out, but put a piece in the paper, radio, whatever, that if you're interested in town meeting, to vote, come get your ballot or your town report, which has the ballot in the back.
No,
Can't do that?
no, because you have to have an actual ballot that can fit through the tabulator.
Oh,
They
that's
can't
right.
just make a copy of the town,
That's
people
right.
can't just make a copy of a ballot and vote. Now, that's illegal.
Could they come, when they come?
The
to-
only way to get a ballot is either you guys make me mail a ballot to all the registered voters, or they request an absentee ballot like the old one.
Okay.
They have to have a ballot that's a true ballot that came from this office. People can't go making copies of ballots.
No, he wasn't asking to make a ballot. He was asking if the printer could incorporate that into the town report.
No,
Okay.
no,
that's-
people have to request.
And it has to go through our machine.
Well, yeah, and the ballot has to be mailed. You can't have anybody, like, you can't even get a ballot for your wife.
Right, I understand.
You can only get a ballot for yourself.
But the ballot has to go through our machine, and it has to be their standard to
Yeah.
fit through the machine, so it
Absolutely.
can be tabulated.
That's exactly.
Basically, the warning is already in the town report of what we're looking for.
Yeah, yeah,
Then they come in and vote on those items.
right.
right.
And the articles are matching.
So I think
exactly.
what you were saying, that's what you'd like to see for people to look at, but it's already there. Basically, the warning is there.
So the ballot will be done up like the town report, where we sit down and go over item 2, item 3.
I'm not sure, Steve, this is all new to me. I mean, I have to,
Okay.
we've got tons of meetings on a daily basis as to the legality of what the Australian ballot would look like.
Because sitting down and doing the ballot would be, you're looking at the town report, and getting information there, and then,
So each one has gotta be individual, because if any of them are lumped together like the government does things, I won't go for it.
Right.
They either gotta be individual or it's not gonna fly.
Right,
with
and,
me.
and there are some things that are historically have been on our warnings for years and years that do not need to be there any longer.
Right.
So there's 3 or 4 line items that will be taken out.
Yeah.
Just because we've had them in there forever, like to dispose of the reading of the officers' reports. Obviously, you can't do that because it's Australian ballot, so that won't even be on there.
okay.
It's like 4 different things.
So it's up to us, she said,
I
right?
think, well, there's discussion.
Right. Somebody's asking a question. Oh, how do we want to do it?
I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to
I
go
think-
Australian ballot.
Gotta go Australia. I don't wanna send ballots to everybody, cause I think there's a
No.
lot of waste to it. I think,
No,
like Lee said, if we do it,
put an ad in the paper, advertise or whatever. It's a lot easier to do that and say,
Get your absentee ballot.
get your absentee ballot in here, yep,
Yeah.
and we'll mail you one.
Will the
or come in and
ballots,
vote,
Or come in and get one, yeah, or
come in and vote that
come in
day.
and vote, yeah.
will the ballots be available on town meeting day?
She's gotta
Yeah,
find
we
out.
have to have a polling place open.
Yes,
Okay.
By statute, you have to have a polling place open, because people can still come in, just like they did for the presidential. People can still
Correct.
come in and vote
The
that
only,
day.
the only thing that, the other thing is a timeline on the outcome of it. I mean, these gotta be counted.
The tabulator will do
tabulator's
The
gonna count.
tabulator will do
Just,
it.
It'll
just
be-
like
If
the
it's set up.
presidential
Okay.
election. Yeah,
Okay,
that.
I just,
Yeah,
the
Yeah, some-
absentee ballots will have to be
The
counted, right?
VCA will
Can they be
still-
put through?
yeah, it'll be just like the presidential.
Okay.
Everything,
Yep.
everything
Alright.
goes through the tabulator.
Good.
And the VCA would still be there for the ones that got kicked out.
Yeah, just like we did
Okay.
in
Yeah.
November.
Okay.
Yeah,
that machine is worth its weight in gold, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, when it comes to that, it is.
Yep,
I didn't realize that we could do it all through that.
yeah, we
Just
can.
set up. All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
so,
Fine for
so
that.
we have to have a timeline as to when the ballots can, either get mailed out or picked up, or when they have to be back.
they have to be back by March 2nd at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, okay.
Have to be back on town
On
meeting.
town meeting.
On
stuff.
town meeting day, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And some people want, like we were talking yesterday at our meeting, some people still want to come in and vote in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Some people don't like the absentee, they like to come in and.
Right here. I'll be there.
We're
And it, I mean,
Yeah, that's
I'm-
right, Cameron. Some people like to do that.
So again, just for clarity, for every one of these other voted articles, there's, how many of them did you say there was?
29.
29? So people are gonna come in and say, okay, fire department expenses. They're gonna yay or nay that,
Yeah,
That's correct.
okay. All right, right down through, all
So
of
it will be just like town meeting with a paper ballot requested for every line item.
yes.
You know, the majority raise their hand, they want a paper ballot.
And you can lump them together on the Australian on an Australian ballot. You can lump your appropriations together as to like the Frontier Animal Society, hospice, umbrella. You could say, you can list them separately. Shall the voters vote? I forget the wording. $75,000 for the following appropriations, and then list them separately, and then people would check yes or no. That is an option. That's how
Right.
that's how the town of Derby and the report was.
But the bad side to this is that, again, fire department, their annual budget is $32,000. Now, if somebody comes in and says, well, I don't think the fire department needs $32,000, I wanna give them only $30,000. You can't do that on Australian ballot.
Australian ballot is a yes or no.
It's
Add
all
yes
or
or no.
nothing.
It's all or
Yep,
nothing.
it's all or nothing.
And if
So-
you lump them together and somebody like the dog place and the
Yep,
Brownington, whoever, all of a sudden, boom, that gets voted in, but I didn't like that part, so I like the individual
Yeah.
Or,
myself.
yeah.
or they don't like the dog,
Right,
vote
One or the
no,
other.
and the fire department doesn't get funded.
right,
Right.
exactly.
So I don't
But
think,
To me, it's gotta be individual, I do
Yeah.
not like anything lumped together.
No,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I
I'd
think
like
you're-
to shoot everybody in government because they lump it together.
well, it gets swimming pools and golf courses.
Oh, that's, what- and we send money to foreign countries, so.
Yeah, so I agree.
Hey, Denise, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
On these Australian ballots, I mean, other than the line items you guys are talking about now, how does it work with like elections for like positions that are opening? Like normally town meeting, somebody nominates somebody and somebody seconds it or whatnot to elect somebody. How do you do it on an Australian ballot? Like, does it just have whoever the incumbent is and then people just have to write somebody in, or how does that work?
Well, there is no incumbent. Typically, in Australian ballot towns, you have to get a petition with X amount of names on it. This year, due to COVID, all you have to do is, if you're interested in running for something that's up, even the incumbent has to fill out a consent of candidate form, which you can get online at the Secretary of State's office and fill it out, or you can come in here and get a copy, fill it out, give it to me, and your name would go on the ballot. Like,
Got it. Okay.
open position, it would be the consent of candidate, whatever name is on there would go under that office, including incumbent, like the school director, Chris Hammond, he just came in, so his term is up this year, so if he chooses to run, he would have to give me a consent of candidate form with no signatures on it, saying that he would like to run for the 3-year school director position. So on the ballot, his name would be there. Anybody else that was interested in that position, their name would be there as well. In addition, there has to be a certain number of blank line items on the Australian ballot to account for any write-ins that people want to write in.
Okay. Do you have like a list of what open spots there are this year? Do you have a?
Yeah, it would, well,
It'll be in the
it'll be
town
it'll be in the town report, but, and the cutoff date for that would be, if the board votes to go Australian ballot, it is the 25th, January 25th. All those, consent of candidate forms have to be in by January 25th. And you can look in last year's town report to see which ones are up. If you don't have last year's town report, I've got an extra one here you could come and grab.
Okay.
You could email me and I could, scan that page and email it to you.
Oh, okay. I'll probably do that then.
Okay, you got my email?
Probably. I think I've emailed you before for something, but let me make sure. Give it to me again.
MC, like Newport Center, town clerk at Comcast.net.
Say it one more time.
NC, like Newport Center, the letter N, the letter C, town clerk at Comcast.net.
How long?
Okay, thanks. Perfect. Thank you, Denise.
We're almost done. They're
You got more
talking about how the
questions, give me a
voting's
call,
gonna go
okay?
right now.
Okay.
Well, cool down when you're done.
And
Okay, I will.
need a dishwasher, I need your help, I need stuff put in the
Go on,
recycling.
the balance.
on,
No, we can't, really do that thing. Yes, yes, I'll second
I
that.
guess Denise has to have a say in that. She's the one's gonna be doing all the work getting that ready.
No,
She can
I,
do it by then.
yeah, I think so.
sometimes move to the ninth,
No, I think we can do it.
and the school's happy with that too.
Mhm.
Okay. Motion made and seconded for Australian balloting on March 2nd. Made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it.
Okay, another motion for, absentee ballot request? To be done by people requesting one?
Do we need a motion to have somebody
I
ask
think it
for an
would be-
absentee ballot?
I think it would be clear.
I'll make that motion.
Yeah. Somebody wants
Absentee
an
ballots by, request.
Yeah.
I don't wanna send them out to everybody.
Well, that's true.
Right, I'll second that.
Okay. What we're deciding now is to send out the ballots, and instead of mailing out 1,200 ballots, we're going to put it as a request, like you were going to go for an absentee ballot.
Perfect.
So, all those
Aye.
motions made and seconded.
Does Rich Tacho have anything to say relative to any of this?
You really want to go there?
Is that way too?
No, it's all sounding good. A couple quick thoughts was one, when the question was asked about nominations due January 25th, that process, how is that communicated to the community if someone new might be interested? So I don't know if that's something you want to entertain on getting the word out somehow. And then the other thought that I had with Australian ballot, it is an opportunity to test the tires on it. So I think the board, the decision is not only an opportunity to get the business done this year due to COVID, but it is a test trial to see how Australian ballot works in Newport Town. So that's all I had.
Rich, as far as the moderator, that was discussed as well. At yesterday's VLCT meeting, people were asking questions, well, if you go Australian ballot, you really don't need a moderator. The answer to that is yes, we do still need to vote that by statute. That has to be on the warning. A moderator does have to be elected because we don't know what's going to happen the rest of the year.
Thanks.
With additional meetings. So if you could be so kind as to fill out a form and get it to me by the 25th, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. That thought occurred to me as well. What about other potential meetings? Is that something you can email me, the form?
Oh yeah, you can get it on the website, elections website too. On the Secretary of State's Election Division website.
Well, it's not too much of a burden. If I don't have to go surfing the web and you have it readily available and can either send me the link or the form, that would be greatly appreciated.
No, let's see, how's that?
That's
Yeah,
all
I have a question for you, Rich.
Yeah.
Being that you were elected at the last town meeting as the moderator, you are still the moderator right up until the beginning of the new town meeting, correct?
Yes.
You will be moderating our informational session that we have relative to the Australian ballots.
Sure. If that's something that you think is required, absolutely.
I think so. Someone's got to, direct questions and whatever back. So
and that was discussed heavily yesterday as well as Monday. We had a meeting and that was discussed, and a lot of towns are opting to have the moderator be in charge of the Zoom meeting.
okay.
Do you have, that being said, that has to be done 10 days prior to town meeting, which would be like the last week in February, preferably at night. Do you have any nights that are blocked out that week that you couldn't do it?
No.
Okay, perfect.
And that meeting, the value of that format is that it's recorded and could be posted to your website for others to listen in on up to the date of town meeting, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right.
That's right. A lot of towns, and I keep going back to Newport City and Derby because I talk to them frequently because they're well versed in the Australian ballot thing. They have their meetings March 1st, which is just the day before town meeting, which doesn't give a lot of time for what you're saying. So, you know, if we had it maybe the Wednesday before or something, it would give people an opportunity to.
The other question I got is when we do an informational meeting and the discussion comes up, let's say relative to roads budget, and the majority of people that are at the meeting want to eliminate the paving line of it.
You can't do that. The warning is done. If the warning, an Australian ballot vote is simply yes or no.
And the information meeting is just that. It's not a business meeting.
Okay. So you just answer the questions and there's no change to the numbers that you say.
You can't
Okay.
change the numbers. It's a
Thank
yes
you.
or no. Yep,
Good.
perfect. So we have a motion and it's been seconded to send ballots by request by the voter, seconded by Rick.
All those, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Motion carries. All right. Next item up we got is unfinished new business. Anybody got anything?
Nope.
No? Have we covered everything for you up to this
Yeah,
point?
yep, and we'll have more information. There's more meetings coming up.
I'll call you when I get back to the show.
Okay.
We don't need an executive session. Motion to adjourn at 8:55.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're out of here. People, thank you for attending.
Very good. Take care.
Yep.